In a quiet riverside village in the Niger Delta, where the wind carried songs of the ancestors and the riverbanks glowed with moonlight, there lived a widowed mother known for her grace and resilience. This mother, dressed in one indigo cloth and coral waist beads, was raising her 3 children alone. The village respected her, but it was her love for her children that made her unforgettable. The rains had failed for 3 years. The soil cracked, and the river receded. Hunger gnawed at the villagers, and fear filled every corner of their hearts. One evening, a weathered old priest stood before the village under a dying baobab tree and declared, "The spirits of Odemil are angry. The land is cursed. Until one dances under the blood moon, the land will not heal." The villagers murmured, some in fear, others in disbelief. Who would dare climb Odem Hill, haunted by spirits and forgotten ancestors? But one figure stepped forward, a woman with fire in her eyes and sorrow in her heart. She knew her children would not survive another moon of famine. "If my children must live, then I will dance," she said softly, but with unshakable resolve. "Even if I never return." As the village fell silent under the shadow of the blood moon, the mother tied 7 cowrie shells to her waist and fastened a small leather drum, once used by her late husband, across her back. She kissed each of her children, her eldest, a lean 12-year-old boy with steady eyes, her daughter, a quiet girl with cornrows and white beads, and her youngest, a round-faced boy barely 5, holding her wrapper tightly. With bare feet and tear-stained cheeks, she began the climb up Odem Hill. Thorns scratched her legs, and every stone seemed to scream, "Turn back." But she pressed on. At the summit, the wind howled like an ancient flute. A circle of white stones shimmered with pale light, pulsing like a heartbeat. She stepped into it without hesitation. Then the air shifted. Mist crept from the trees. The ground vibrated. And one by one, they emerged, tall shadowy figures with glowing eyes and robes of ash and wind. They surrounded her in silence, their forms flickering like firelight. Then one stepped forward, its voice like thunder swallowed by water. "Why do you wake us, daughter of dust?" The mother dropped to her knees and beat her drum once. "For my children," she cried. "Take my breath, my strength, my body, just let them live." The spirit that stood before her raised glowing stone circle. One spirit raises its hand, its misty arm, and a low hum echoed through the hilltop. The others joined in, a sound older than language, vibrating the stones beneath her feet. "You must dance," the spirit declared. "Dance with us until the first ray of dawn. If your heart faints, they die. If you endure, they live." The woman stood. Her knees shook. Her back ached. But she placed her hand on her drum and struck it again. Then she moved, slowly, deliberately, stepping in rhythm with the unseen world. Around her, the spirits spun like wind. They danced without feet, without breath, without flesh, but they moved in harmony with her heartbeat. Her rhythm became theirs. She danced when her knees bled, when her breath caught, when the wind tried to tear her apart. But she kept moving, lifting her soul with every step. Back in the village, her children stirred in their sleep. The eldest trembled in fever. The daughter whispered her mother's name. The youngest whimpered softly, tears on his cheeks. But the mother did not stop. She danced for every laugh they had shared, for every hunger she had watched them bear, for every tomorrow they had yet to see. The sky began to shift. The red of the blood moon softened into purple. The stars faded. The first golden thread of dawn stretched across the horizon. The spirits slowed their dance, their forms flickering like dying embers. One by one, they bowed to her, the mortal who had danced without fainting. She collapsed into the circle of stones, her body broken, her breath shallow, but her face smiling. In the village, the rooster crowed. The river shimmered anew. The soil, once cracked and dead, was now dark and rich beneath the morning dew. In the hut, our 3 children awoke. The eldest sat up suddenly, his fever gone. The daughter touched her chest and smiled. The youngest opened his eyes and whispered, "Mama." The villagers gathered outside their homes, staring at the sky, then the ground, then one another. The curse had lifted, but no one knew how. She never returned. But her story remained. Each year, under the blood moon, the children of the village climb Odim Hill, not in fear, but to dance. Many seasons passed, and the woman's children grew tall like palm trees, strong, wise, and grateful. They never forgot the night their mother vanished to save them. The villagers told her story to every child, of a mother with red-threaded braids who dared to dance with the dead to keep her children alive. And though no one ever saw her again, some say on nights of the blood moon, a drumbeat echoes faintly from Odim Hill, steady, soft, and full of love. Every year, the children of the village climb the hill in silence. At the summit, they form a circle, feet bare, hearts full, and begin to dance. They dance not because they must, but because she did. They dance for their mothers, for their stories, and for the love that moves between the living and the spirits. And as long as the drum beats in their memory, and their feet press the earth with love, the land will live, the people will thrive, and her spirit will never fade.